Well, if you were watching the Super Bowl and you were watching the commercials and you saw this one, you knew I was going to have to do a video on the Super Bowl commercials. Okay, this was I think this was the first commercial that come up actually for us watching. Okay, and this is Fast X. Okay, this is the Fast and the Furious uh, number 10. Blimmin' hell, they've made 10 of those. I think I've only seen the first one. Um, and no doubt, as soon as this come on the screen, I'm looking over to my wife and my kids, and I'm like, just giving them that look. Mm. Anyway, this was the first advert, and I'm like, oh my goodness, they are. I I don't know what dam that is, but it's a very similar looking dam to the Hoover Dam. Obviously, it's not the Hoover Dam, but it is an arch dam, and Vin Diesel is gonna be reborn over the dam. You just can't write this stuff, I'm telling you. Okay, and there's I don't know who that's supposed to be, Ming the Merciless, and here he's doing the jump, just like James Bond. It'd be interesting to know what dam this is, but I'm not that interested. I don't know. And here we go with the 10, the X. Super interesting. That was the first advert that I saw. I'm pretty sure it was the first advert they played, apart from all the kind of intro nonsense. Um, Lots and lots of adverts with kids, a few with dogs, but obviously, the God dog reference, and child being reborn, like Rihanna being pregnant. And I probably should do something on the halftime show. All right, I got the halftime show up. Rihanna again, pregnant. So this idea with children, and in fact, there was one advert that springs to mind where there's three kids talking, and it reminded me of Look Who's Talking. Again, that's got a Kirstie Alley reference there again, and quite a few other people actually. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, like Bruce Willis and John Travolta, and I can't remember. Anyway, Look Who's Talking. It was just interesting because of the Who in it. Look Who's Talking. Um, and again, just quite a lot of um, children references, even on our local channel when they got their adverts playing. There was just stuff on there as well with kids on it. It's just weird the way that works. There was one ad. There was with a woman that was about to have a baby, and then there's some kids doing something on another advert, like it was a roofing contractor advert, but it was kids in the advert. I mean, there was just an awful lot of references to um, children, basically the new child being born, if you like. Anyway, the Rihanna thing. Not really much to say about it. It was fairly reasonable in terms of um, I don't know, in terms of like you know obscenities, obscenities. In terms of rudeness, I guess. I don't know. It was fairly reasonable. And it got better towards the end, I thought, where the older stuff was playing, and we had the upward arrow and now the downward arrow, and the idea of the child being born, the idea of Adam and Eve, the idea of the womb, and the phallus symbolism, yada yada yada. That platform, I don't know how interesting that is. You know, they kept sending fireworks off, but basically we had her in red, and of course, depending on the lighting, that changed slightly. The colours changed slightly, but basically red and white. Again, red and white. The St George's flag. For me, the blood moon. The idea of the Earth being between the sun and the moon in perfect balance. Okay, these dudes here with these kind of, at first I'm like, oh, they do kind of look a bit like a onesie, except, you know, like we bundle a kid up in. Except these front bits were open here, these jackets were open here, so they could flash their uh, midriffs. But what I was thinking about these as well is I'm like, and I'm getting a hint of like marshmallows here with this puffiness of these outfits, and I was like, yeah, it could be a reference to the Marshmallow Man, to the Stay Puffed. So I don't know, the Destructor. You know, I'm not sure. They were kind of, there was a few that were more puffy than others, I thought. Um, I don't know what else to say about it really. I don't really even want to bother doing a decode on it. Rihanna looks like, you can imagine what I would call Rihanna. And she also had this interesting plastic chest piece on. I don't know what you'd call it even. I thought that might get ripped off during the thing or something stupid like that, you know. Again, I don't know what the reference to that is, you know, the fake plastic still underneath there. Be wary of the system. But yeah, I don't know what to say about it really, other than it really wasn't that eventful, to be quite honest. And actually, that might be slightly ominous in itself. That the whole event was kind of, it was not very I don't know, controversial. There wasn't anything major that happened during it, or any. There, they did have the slipping and sliding about thing going on. You know, everybody was slipping over, which I thought was interesting. I mean, you could take that reference quite a few different ways. The idea of being in the system, you're always going to fall flat on your face. Um, and again, trying to fight the system, you're going to kind of fall flat on your face. But perseverance paid off in the end for the Chiefs. But the simplest form, I thought, of the what was being relayed there with everybody slipping over was this idea of maintaining balance again. You know, trying to stand upright. You know, and you just got to keep getting back up. So, you know, just this issue with balance again. So that was interesting. Nothing more really to say about that. I wish I could have clicked on it where it was, where we had. There was at one point there was a couple of guys down the front that looked really, their outfits looked really puffy. Um, and I'm sure there'll be people referencing certain organisations here with the. I mean, I don't know what to say about it really. This is kind of where the colours kind of got a bit funny, where they put the blue lights on. So anyway, enough with that. We've done the Fast 10, and this was the other commercial that really caught my eye. It was a GMC. It was Will Ferrell, and I don't know. It was just a GMC. I think it was an electric car ad again. But what caught my attention was the zombie apocalypse with the Las Vegas sign here. This was the start of the commercial. He's pulling in to what was Las Vegas. So that was interesting as well. There were several other little bits and bobs in other adverts, but I don't really want to spend all night going through the whole of everything. I could spend quite a bit of time talking about the score in the game. That was interesting because it went 7. Then with the Eagles, then the Chiefs responded, got 7 back, so it went 7-7, then 14-14, and at that point I'm like, oh my goodness, are we going to go to 21-21 and have the 37 referenced? Yeah, 3 sevens are 21. Are we going to have the 37 referenced twice with the start of the score? But it didn't happen. In the end, it went to what was it? 24-14 was the halftime score. So we did get the 24 in there for the eve of the birth of Christ, and can't remember how the score went up after that. But when we got to the 2-minute warning, we were 35-35. And again, let's go to the chart, Lorraine. The 35-35. Here's our 53. Again, this diagonal line here opposite the death and rebirth number here with Christ, and there were a few Jesus adverts as well. So this is what we got going on here. Okay, there's 53-35, and again with the 35-35. There's a couple of other references, again back to the dollar bill, the 1935 design, the dedication of the Hoover Dam, 1935, the Elvis's birthday, 1935. Okay, and again, interesting was what I want to go to here was this Super Bowl 1. Again, the Chiefs at Super Bowl 1 lost to Green Bay. So what's interesting about Green Bay, I've got a picture of Green Bay up here, Super Bowl 1, is the colors. Okay, we've got the green, and we've still got the yellow, and we've still got a bit of the sun showing through with the green here. But what happens is, again, we've got the red and the white, the same as, I mean, there'll be a ton of people saying, well, the halftime show predicted what was going to happen for the outcome. Yeah, I say it started before that. I was telling my daughter, you know, the colors would indicate to me that the Chiefs are going to win because we're in the red and white, again with the blood moon. Okay, that balance of the earth between the sun and the moon. That's when we get the blood moon. Okay, so that's what is indicating to me the St. George's cross there. That symbolism tied into the colors, and in Super Bowl 1 they obviously lose, and that is obviously indicative of going into the matrix, entering the Green Bay, and as soon as you do that thing, as soon as you enter into that thing, you're on a losing. You're going to be losing the whole way until you come out of that thing. Okay, so I think that's what's going on, because of course 57, if we go to the chart, 57 is all to do with the 10, fast 10. Here's our 57 for completion. This is the total for this column. We've even got a 157 in here. Okay, so 57 is all to do with completion. Completion of the cycle. Okay, and that's what we had. So what we had going on was in Super Bowl 1, the Chiefs entering into that cycle. Okay, 2 lots of 57 is 314 pi. Okay, so again with the idea of being in the pie. And what do I want to do here? So let me show you. So that was Super Bowl one, okay. And I want to, and again with that 135 here. I mean, that last video, if you could stomach it and being all over the place, that 135 right here, okay. Again, it was part of that decode on Tyree and on Turkey. Um, Again, that 135 shows up, it's repeated, and the 53 was showing up quite a bit during the whole thing because my son was getting pretty annoyed with me. Here's the 53, and here's the center of that X again, okay, with the 153 on this kind of final corner, I guess. But yeah, my son was getting kind of annoyed with me, keep going on about 53 and 35 during the thing. But that was our 2-minute warning score, 35-35, and it had to be a tie, okay? Because that's again talking about balance, okay? Now you got to be careful with the context of tie, because the tie can also be being tied to something and being controlled by something, okay? What we've got to think about is the tie being correctly administered, okay, and being tied to, rather than being tied to the fictional system, we need to be tied to natural law, which is the physical realm that around us. We need to be tied to that idea, to God's law, rather than man's law, okay. So the tie is important. Again, it's about balancing two things, but we've got to remember, which thing are you tied to. Anyway, let's go back to this other. So that was interesting with Super Bowl I ain't doing nothing else on that. But when we look at the colors here, okay, Hertz number one, okay, and when you're in the system, it hurts, okay. So we got to be wary of that as well. But look at the color green here compared with Green Bay. This is a much sort of a grayer, darker green, okay. Look at the black collar around here, the black tie almost around here as well, okay, just like the coronal ring, this Vesica Pisces shaped collar that's around here in the black ring. Again, all I'm saying is that these colors here are more indicative of the corrupt system, okay, and that was the thing that had to be, that's the thing that we've got to come out of. And so that would be, like what I was saying to my daughter, well, I wasn't really, I mean, obviously I'm a Chiefs fan because I live in Kansas, and people be like, well, Chiefs are from Missouri, Dan. Yeah, but half of Kansas City is in Kansas, and you've got one half that's at the heart of the country, okay, in Kansas, and then you've got the other half that's in Missouri, okay. And again, an interesting, I don't know, it's an interesting idea there with the city being split in half, kind of, and one half being in Kansas and one half being in Missouri, okay. So when you step over that line, that's what you're stepping into. Now, I'm not having to go at people in Missouri saying that, but that's the idea there that's being relayed with just Kansas City. And again, the arrowhead, again, the phallus symbolism of man shooting back through the bullseye, okay. So that was something that was important, that symbolism. The idea of the home of the country, the heartland, again, the arrowhead being the heart shape as well. I think it was Decoder Ring was said something about Jungle Cruise in in a comment, and I'm like, yeah, there's a ton of stuff in that film, and he gave me some numbers and that, and I'm like, well, I rewatched the film because there is a scene in the film where the water empties out of this sort of area, um, kind of like draining the dam. And I couldn't remember off the top of my head, that scene precisely. And so I went back and watched it, and of course, that little area is called La Luna. I think it was La Luna Rota or something. I can't remember. It would come on the screen quick. I wasn't really paying too much attention at that point in time, but it was like La Luna Rota, I think. And the idea of the moon and the shape of it being the womb. Um, Again, that thing draining, and when after they've drained that, they've got a I can't remember exactly what they do actually because I was kind of half sidetracked during watching that. Um, but they've got an arrowhead, which has to fit into a little sort of key area, and it turns out that the arrowhead is a heart. Okay, so that idea of that's the balance point of the body, the heart, the arrowhead is the heart, the arrowhead is the thing that's got to come alive again. Okay, so oh man. Anyway, getting sidetracked with that. Um, what else do I want to say? Oh, the symbolism with the eagles. Those two little wing things, with the winged angel thing, and I just thought, it's definitely a dam reference, which way it goes. But of course, with the winged angels at the Hoover Dam and the wings on the kind of the helmet there, again, I'm like, it does make sense that that would indicate this thing being the dam and being destroyed. Okay. I mean, you have to be. It's difficult to know exactly where those references are going because again, the Ark of the Covenant has those two winged angels on the top of it. Okay, so you've got to kind of think about the context of the story, okay, and what it's really referring to because a lot of the time those things don't really have a you know a specific meaning in terms of like you can take a lot of things and flip the meaning of those things depending on the context. So you have to be careful, and this is what a lot of people get caught up with, is they get caught up with um, what I could just the false meaning, the lie that goes along with those things. They'll listen to say it's like the 33 blind, the 33 again. I mean that showed up a bunch of times in the thing, of course, but the 33, oh my goodness, people just get so bent out of shape about it, and you've got to look at the context of that 33, okay, and really what it means. Anyway, where am I at here? So I'm not really going to do anything else about this. Again, the Chiefs were wearing, I'm assuming everybody watched the game, they were wearing what the hell were they wearing? They're wearing the same away kit, the white and the red numbers, and so I'm like, we've got it's the right colours. The Eagles are representing, just on colours, are representing the fictional system and the kind of corrupted fictional system with those darker colours, those grayer colours. So I'm like, I mean, if you just go off the colours, then the Chiefs are going to win it, And then the other interesting thing was the coin toss at the start. My daughter's like, oh, whoever wins the coin toss usually loses. It's been 11 years in a row that I think that was the way around it was. If they won the coin toss, they lost the game. And I said, better hope we win the coin toss because that's going to change now. It's 11. that number 11 popping up there, I'm like, that's likely that's the reference, and that will change after 11 years. The Chiefs break that little curse, if you like, and they won the coin toss, I'm pretty sure, with tails, and and they win the game. You know, there was a nice return. Oh, that was funny as well, because I'm like, oh, I bet they'll return this all the way for a touchdown. They didn't quite make it all the way, but it was pretty interesting because the commentators are like, he's got a wall now, he's got a wall there now, and I'm like, oh my goodness, we're referencing the wall. Oh dear. So not much more to say. The 83 again. The year that the Hoover Dam spillways are flowing is 1983. Water coming over the dam. Okay, you know, that to me is the reference there. The 35 with the reference back to that final corner of the X, if you like. So I don't know, what have I missed off of there. Done that. We did this. We covered the half times, the 2-minute warning score of 35-35, the tie being balanced. We've looked at Fast X, and Jason's going to be in it. So I was mentioning with the Turkish reference with, I don't know if you caught my comment on the last video with Turkish in Snatch, and of course that film's absolutely loaded. Recommend going and watching 88 Finiston Temporis's videos on Snatch. But of course, again, the dog in Snatch eats the diamond, okay? The same as the gods eat their children, and that is about controlling the things that you invent, the ideas that you have. Yeah, those are your little babies, and if you let those things get out of control, they will eat you. Okay, so but that idea of God eating the diamond, Snatch, the place where we're born from, and it was Tyrone, if you didn't catch the comments there, rather than Tyre. Oh, and that was another interesting thing. That just reminded me because Tyrone can't park his car in Snatch. He can't park the getaway car in this big gap. And they do the jumbo jet reference. And of course, the Chiefs had that kick, and it hit the post, and man, did it make a dong. And I just thought, wow, we're going to have another, later on in the game, we're going to have the other post hit with the ball. Are you getting the reference there to 911 with the with hitting the first column, the first tower? I just, just nuts again. Was there something in here that I wanted? Oh yeah, the release date of this thing. That's why I got this up. The release date, May 19th. Sorry, May 19th. Remember our date in here when we come across with our two big number jumps from 9/11. Okay, here and here. Here's our 5/9. Okay, 5/9. Okay, and we have a 5/19 reference. It's not far off. We have a 5/19 reference with that release date. And the interesting thing about 5/19 is I was saying about this was funny as well because I had this reference. Hang on a minute. 5/19 is we're getting a 10 and a 9 reference added in here. We're getting a 10 reference. So what I'm saying is, if we were going to reference the day after this 5/9, which would be 5/10, which numerologically, what am I saying? The numbers for 5/10 match up with the numbers for the 1st of May. I know May Day, the bank holiday changes, but May Day for me, the 1st of May, that reference is 5-1. Okay, again, Mahomes 15, number 15, but 5-1. And Madonna's holiday song. If we had a holiday, well, May Day, of course, is a holiday as well, just like Christmas. The holy day being the day where the hole opens up in the dam. 5-9, 5-10, with that release date of 5-19, referencing the day after this 5-9. That would be 101 days, which is Hoover Dam, Gematria. So it is interesting, you know, the 100-day jump becomes a 101-day jump, again with the hole in the middle of, you know, the idea of a wall with a hole in the middle, 101. I don't know what else to say. I was just about to say something else that was interesting, and I've forgotten it now. I'm going to leave it there, because otherwise I'll just keep waffling. But again, the May Day reference. Oh, that was it. It was, what the hell is that band called? It's the Safety Dance anyway. Okay, you know the song. You can dance if you wanna. Da, 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 da. That song. At the end of that song, and that's all about May Day as well. At the end of that song is there's a couple of shots, and I'm sure it's like jet fighters right at the end of it. Like, it's really random. They're all dancing Maytime, and then there's these two. I'm pretty sure it's two shots, like the haymaking in a shot, and then there's this jet thing flying. You know, like a war's gonna start. So just interesting, that was playing at some point, and there was also what was the other thing? No, it's gone anyway. It's gone. I ain't gonna worry about it. It's gone. Because otherwise I'll just be here all night. I'm gonna leave it there. So I hope you enjoyed that. I think I covered pretty much everything. Hopefully that wasn't too long. And leave me your thoughts on what I forgot there. And yeah, there was a lot of other stuff in it, and a ton of numbers, man. It was just absolutely loaded. So, oh yeah, I said that. I said about the Marshmallow Man and Ghostbusters and the Destructor. I'm just trying to think what I've forgotten. This is the problem when you just like don't really have a plan when you do videos. They just come out all over the place. Alright, well, I'm leaving it there. Okay. Yeah, I'll talk to you on another video here soon. Alright. Cheers, bye.